I'm sorry guys, I couldn't do this review without a Marvel shirt. What's up guys? Guardians of the Galaxy. It's directed and co-written by James Gunn, who did two highly underrated films. The horror comedy Slither and the superhero comedy Super. And he's back and bigger than ever with this new film. It stars Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, Zoe Saldana as Gamora, Batista as Drax the Destroyer, Vin Diesel as Groot, and last but not least, Bradley Cooper as Rocket Raccoon. Now, the film centers around Star-Lord. It begins with a very powerful introduction of him, and the story sets into action with him taking the Forbidden Orb and keeping it from the evil Ronin, who's intent and hell-bent on destruction and dominance. He meets up with Gamora, Drax, Groot, and Rocket to protect the orb from getting into the wrong hands and have it placed in secrecy. Now, this movie could have been easily a disaster, but thanks to the sharp direction and super witty script from James Gunn, this movie is awesome. It's awesome. I've never heard a better soundtrack and have never cracked up that much from a Marvel film. While watching every aspect of this movie, I could tell that the director, James Gunn, was very compassionate about this adaptation of the original comic book. I could tell that he grew up with comic books and superheroes and is an aficionado on superhero mythology and comics. I strongly recommend his previous film, Super, as you can see right here. A terrific, hilarious, and dark take on becoming a superhero. I'll get to that film in my underrated movies series. Now, when it comes to the performances, I gotta tell you guys, I've never seen such likable protagonists in a comic book flick. Damn, Chris Pratt, he was spot on as Star-Lord. Uh, he was so goofy and badass at the same time, and there were plenty of layers to this character. And Zoe Saldana, she was also badass as Gamora, and was glad to see a female Marvel character with colorful personality and depth. And holy moly, Batista caught me by surprise as Drax. He's serious, but also in a self-aware, funny way. It's so damn great that his character can be so funny and be so fleshed out and has a lot of depth. It's good to see a protagonist that is not one note, all vengeful and dull. It's great to see more to these characters. Vin Diesel voices Groot, and although all that is said is "I am Groot," every time sounds like gold. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. He says it in different ways. That's what's great about it. Now, on to Bradley Cooper. Wow, Bradley Cooper blew me away. When I read in the dailies that he was going to voice Rocket, I thought, I don't mind, but he's gonna sound like his regular self. But whenever Rocket was on screen, I kept saying to myself, wow, I can't believe that's actually Bradley Cooper. He obviously stole the show with a unique voice Cooper created, and the funny characteristics of this foul-mouthed, sarcastic animal. That's what made it such a great supporting character. Best Supporting Actor nomination, please. You hear me, Academy? Now, these two actors, Michael Rooker and Karen Gillan, were really cool as secondary villains Yondu and Nebula. Yondu had me seriously laughing in one scene with an old guy. So I was pleasantly impressed with the fun story, three-dimensional lead performances, and stunning action set pieces. And of course, the visuals are flawless. So nice to look at. I saw this in 2D, and I kind of regret doing that because there were some things that popped out that would have been great for a 3D experience. I'm so getting it on Blu-ray 3D. Now, the thing I cherish the most from this movie is the amazing soundtrack. Uh, I'll lay it all out for the first time for you all. I am a die-hard old school music fan. I grew up with 60s and 70s songs that my mother introduced me to when I was younger, and I adore all that music. This upbringing of mine was actually the case with Star-Lord, and I related to him right away. He listens to a lot of awesome retro music that his mother introduced him to. That element of the film was so beautifully done that I gotta be honest with you guys, I cried a lot because of how similar it was. And I thought about my mother who introduced me to great music and got me in love with it. I can't thank James Gunn enough for having great music choices in this film and creating something so beautiful. Something so beautiful. Uh, that it was just so heart touching for me. Like, I was speechless in the end. So great job, Mr. Gunn. Now, the only criticism I have for the film is the main villain, Ronan. Lee Pace, the actor who plays Ronan, did a really good job at talking and sounding so menacing. That was great, but unfortunately, the character development was truly absent. He was just there to move the plot along and act so evil with no motives, especially in terms of the look of Ronan. Uh, he not only talked, but also looked too cartoonish and too comic bookish. Ronan would have been done a lot more justice with a little sense of humor, but with a lot more reasoning and look a little more realistic. So yeah, Ronan was pretty empty. Nebula was actually more deep in character than him. But still, Guardians of the Galaxy is nevertheless an awesome, entertaining, lightning-paced, hilarious, nostalgic cinematic comic book of a movie. There was never a dull or slow moment. I was into the entire movie. I even stayed till the after credits scene. I won't spoil anything, alright? Just see it for yourself. I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I can't quite give it 5 because of the villain's treatment. But it's still a great movie. It's the second best movie I've seen this summer, next to Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Now, if any of you saw the movie, let me know in the comments of what you thought about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, feel free to subscribe to my channel, and I'll keep you updated for more movie adventures.